Alright, oh, wait, best of 11. Do I still have that little thingamajig here? Can we sneak it in? Does that still work? 11 matches. There we go. Oh, it's still there. Lovely. Alright, in the top right side, we got ourselves a blue Terran player. That just got himself paused by his opponent. He is representing Kaiser. He is innovation. Lovely. Right, it's just a lot less epic when it's in the pause screen, doesn't it? We'll do it again. Innovation. There we go. Without the music and such as well. Bottom left side. Don't know what happens exactly with him. Anyway, the Dragon Phoenix Gamer now. Alright, he is Mr. Zest. The Red Protoss. Just hanging out for the time being, it seems. Which one of these players is going to be the more aggressive one? I think overall, it would be likely that Innovation is the player that gets more aggressive. And then again, Zest, you know, he's a wild man himself. They call Beyond the wild man, don't they? But Zest, honestly, quite a wild man himself. No ludicrous openings here for the time being. Just regular stuff. Zest will be coming across with that first initial probe here. Just checking to see if that command center is coming up on the low ground. Invasion also sending one of his boys across. Oh, no, actually. This will be a proxy. Alright. Well, I think we have our answer. Player getting more aggressive. Although we have seen this from stats as well, right? If you put down a gateway there, it just becomes this overall warp-in location that is available for you now throughout the rest of the game. That's exactly what is going to happen here as well. It's going to allow for that early game aggression maybe to be a little bit more efficient, right? If you are trying to get some adepts behind the minerals, or maybe some stalkers to start poking down some marines, stuff like this suddenly becomes quite a bit stronger. And, of course, as well, later on if the Terran does decide to move out, this is a great place to start warping in some Zealot from. Of course, Innovation, a player that has been playing the game recently, so should know about these types of things. He scouted the base of the Protoss, only saw one pylon there, so should have an inkling that there is something sneaky being done on the map here. Starts to figure out what, of course. Only a single gas does limit the options a little bit here. Innovation not putting down any type of safety bunkers though. Makes me think he might be expecting a Stargate perhaps. It's rough to say. He's making Hellions though, so maybe that's not what he is entirely expecting. I think he's just still trying to get a scout out on the map. Try to figure it out that way. And just go into the Widowmine drops. Alright. Should have ourselves 4 adepts here. Together with 2 more actually. Up to 6 right now. There's only 8 marines. That's no good. Okay, no, wait, that's 10 now. Wait, is that? Oh, wait, no, it might be 9 actually. Yeah, it should be 9, right? Because he started off with the 1 unequal. Yeah. Alright, anyway. I can count. Adepts on top of the SCVs right here do manage to pick off 2 right off the bat. The Marines managed to get a pretty good angle of attack onto the first Adepts right there, and were able to target it down a little bit. The Adepts do manage to get out of there, and the Hellion apparently on the other side also managing to get 3 probes at the same time while all of this was going on. I like the supply depot over here as well. Kind of blocking those shades a little bit, making it more difficult for them to go where they please. Innovation is trying to keep the front door secure. The bunker is very low though, and the repairs not in time. Does go down quite quickly. The Stalkers manage to pick off the Widowmine also. And suddenly Zest is already picking off quite the number of Marines here. Well, let's have to back up seemingly after the siege tank does come into play. Maybe with the adepts there as well. Who knows? You could have tried to get on top of the siege tank as well, but Zest playing it careful, playing it safe. Doesn't want to just throw in all his units, of course, on a whim. Especially both the SCVs ready to be pulled as well, still in the neighborhood. Makes that quite a tricky situation. Anyway, third base here for Innovation has been built behind this, already set up. Well, almost set up with an orbital on top of it as well. Nexus coming down for Zest is still a little bit on the way. Alright, still needs a while to really get there, but Twilight Council is finishing up right now. It's going to get charge. Oh, interesting. I was not anticipating that. I was fully on anticipating the blink play here to try and get himself some more aggression going with those stalkers that he's got, but is that going for the charge upgrade here? Very peculiar. Maybe he's maybe he's looking to just finish off his opponents with a bunch of charge slots and the Archons. Maybe that is just the army that he would like to have in the mid game here, as he's trying to get himself further along in the mid to late game. Let's keep an eye out on the overall gateway numbers. That should be a good tell. We're only going up to 6 right now. It's not an extreme number for the 3 base. It's getting a robo now also. Can't even think of the last time Inno beat the Protoss. He got one matchup of stats the last time, right? Oh, splitting up his forces here. Not sure if that's the right call. Trying to get that third out, but that third not yet well protected enough. Marines and siege tanks slowly getting themselves into a position here will force the Starkers and the Adepts backwards. I think Zest is pretty happy with that. Considering how much later his third base was and how much sooner he was actually mining on location, very well done. Unit loss tab also kind of still looking nicely in his favor. About 500 more minerals lost here for Innovation within the first couple of, well, 7 minutes. The attack does get spotted here. 2 more gateways coming up. Not entirely certain what Zest is planning. He does have a probe over here as well. Might be looking for expansions. Might be looking to get something else entirely done. Who knows? Anyway, Zest comes up here onto the siege tanks. He's having a little bit of a trouble getting rid of all of them. Thought he was anticipating the bio to be more on the forefront as he was dropping those High Templar. They kind of were just standing there looking at the siege tanks and... yeah, an awkward situation anyway. Zest here will make another attempt up this ramp. The supply depots here are quite nice indeed. With a mine there, getting a good connection onto the warp prism. It does still live though, so we'll be able to facilitate another warp in, unless if it gets targeted down somehow. There are a lot of Marines around, the SCVs also being brought in. That should be quite a nice Widowmine connection there. The warp prism finally does go down. Innovation is holding here after losing 10 SCVs, which does seem like an alright amount looking at the overall numbers on the workers right now. He needs to retreat though back to the rest of his forces and really get that firepower going once again. Preferably take a fight against the Zealots near these supply depots, really mess up their AI and the overall surface area available for those Zealots, of course. Okay, Zest kind of starting up maybe a new plan. I'm not entirely certain just quite yet. He is investing into upgrades. He's getting himself the blink. Starting to mine from this location. Might decide to make an Nexus here soon. Yeah, he is starting to maneuver himself into a different type of army composition, I would say. Not entirely sure what it will be like, but we'll have to wait and see. A couple of storm drops here. We'll be able to land quite nicely onto a lot of SCVs. Look at that, 17 of them. This one storm drop doing more overall than the entire attack combined. Manages to force innovation to deal with that pylon for even a longer period of time. Having to send more units, pull the other ones back, and stuff like this can be quite annoying. As you're just looking to do something else, for example here, innovation. Looking to push across the map. Wants to have everything together. He does have a good couple of EMPs available on those ghosts. And on Shockwave is about to finish up. Looks like that will finish up before the fight happens. Single Immortal here getting card out. Does alert Zest to the situation though. Innovation a little bit less aware of the Protoss army as it is already on top of this third base right now. Suddenly on top of the SCVs right there. Trying to get his boys to safety, and reasonable couple of storms there will be able to take care of those Widow Mines and one of the Marauders as well. Linking up on top. Trying to get everything into the main base here. The Terran army still looks quite a bit more menacing. It's not being utilized fully to try and get the most damage done as possible here. Zest, he has so many High Templar, man. It is pretty nuts. He has a lot of Storm and he's trying to make the best of it. And that Storm is the best ticket he has right now to winning this game, I'd say. Has enough probes here to start making some nexuses. He has them on both corners of the map. He's waiting for his final nexus to go down. Perhaps. Alright, there he goes. Starts building his infrastructure right now. Couple more probes there coming along the top side towards the army. Innovation floating all his buildings around now, right? So it's going to be rough for Zest to pick all of those off. Mainly as a ground army here. The Archons and the Starkers, I guess the Sentry too. Only real threat to those buildings right now. Gonna attempt a bit of a landing. Start up the production again. He still has about 500 minerals and 500 gas. Not entirely sure what he wants to try and build, but you know what, 10... Well, I guess you could get 9 Marines, right? Wouldn't be bad. 9 more Marines. Can start dropping some mules as well here. Really start up that production again. As both players in their own side of the map here. Innovation claiming the middle. And Zest the top left side. Neither of them really feeling comfortable attacking into one another. Are we actually going to see this game just continue onwards like this? That would be quite weird. That would be one of the weirdest situations I've seen. Nice dodge on the Widowmine, but couldn't quite get the same on the EMP. Couple more High Templar coming in from the back. One of them still has a good amount of Storm, but where are the Zealots? That's the main question here. The Zealots not with the army at all. They are on a mad flank and it's not working out. Zest here maybe anticipating he would be able to hold this off with Storm alone. And then suddenly those EMPs landing absolutely brilliantly, being able to flatten all of the energy right there available. And now suddenly with just Zealots, that is not a way you can win a game here. Zest has to tap out. Innovation taking game number 1. Alright, well, there you go. Innovation just beating a Protoss in the first game. I'm not sure where those Zealots were going, but they were not going anywhere where they were very useful, unfortunately. Maybe they were looking for like buildings and stuff like that, right? Maybe he was looking for other expansions. I'm not entirely certain. Maybe he was anticipating Innovation to split up a bit more as well, try to find all the buildings that could still be around for Zest, but not really the case. Innovation just rolls up his sleeves, brings every man he's got, and yeah, just finds the one base that was available for Zest there. So unfortunately, GG for Zest, has to tap out. bit of a bit of a shame this Ellens weren't with the army, right? It was a really cool game overall, and then to see it end like that, it's like, that's a shame. Oh well. It's how the game of StarCraft 2 is played. Those situations, they can be very, very... Let me try to wipe the green away. It's not like... Well, anyway, they can be very, very... just overall disturbing. Is disturbing a good word for this? Chaotic, absolutely filled with just weird information that is inaccessible, right? You don't know what is happening on your opponent's side of the map. You don't know if he's still mining. You don't know if he still had a base somewhere else, if he's flown it over before. A lot of stuff that you have to kind of account for, and sometimes those situations can be very difficult to navigate. Bottom right side, we got ourselves a blue Terran player fighting for the KIC Gamers. Innovation. Top left side, we got ourselves a red Protoss, the Dragon Phoenix gamer man himself, Zest. Are we actually having both these players opting to go for the cheese? It seems so. We have a single barracks being hidden by innovations. Not as bad as what is going on here for Zest. Well, I say bad, it's what I mean with that. It's just pure evil, right? That is what I really mean with this. Look at that, one pylon already starting to hide, and with the barracks that far away, I wonder how this is going to work out. We do have 2 refineries coming up, so maybe a factory would be able to get quickly created here. Only a single pylon gonna be enough to power up these 2 cannons without a single Marine or Reaper in the neighborhood. There we go, another pylon on the high grounds will be able to ground vision, and also, of course, be the backup pylon, really, for those cannons. A new platform for more cannons to start building out from. He's brought 3 probes around as well. I'm quite surprised with the amount that he's brought here. He's cancelled one of the cannons on the low ground so he can get more on top of the high grounds more quickly. Innovation's gonna have to try and find a way to deal with this. He's starting to make some Reapers. I mean, the Reapers could try to go across the map here, but there's already a cannon on the bay in the main base of Zest as well. He knows that there's no barracks here, and there should be some sort of a proxy coming at him pretty soon also. With the cannon, that gives a lot of viability for him to stay alive back at home for the time being. And off he goes. There goes Innovation onto a new adventure somewhere else with his command center and all the SCVs. It was just about 6 of them. He's still okay on a count of 13. Will want to land, obviously, somewhere quick so he can actually get his mining going. First Marine arrives at the Nexus and starts laying down heavy fire there. Can't wait for the Reaper to show up as well. Oh, Reaper is coming back first. We'll try to deal with the probes over here. Right, the offensive probes will have to meet their maker. Reaper can't chase into the cannon range, of course. Recall does save 2 of the 3. Still a Marine here, kind of denying all of the gas mining. That's a nice little thing. Right, Innovation can't do much, but that is something he can do in this weird, obscure moment in time where we have a single Marine denying all the mining for the Protoss at 3 minutes 15 for at least a solid 10 to 20 seconds. It's quite odd. Alright, with a nice bit of micro here as well. Keeps the Marine and the Reaper alive. Continues onwards with his progress. Cyclone comes in. If he gets a look onto the cannon, I mean, he could just take out the cannon. The Cyclone look on range outranges, of course, the cannon, and should be pretty good. Let's see. Oh, looks onto the Stalker. That's pretty darn good as well. Does lose it, though. Probably didn't have a scan available. Alright, bring in the Widowmine. Still more gas mining being denied here for Zest. Desperately trying to get some ranged units out, but he is being denied. Another shield battery, that's a good call. The Widowmine here could be detrimental. Of course, could one-shot one of those Stalkers. Not a probe. Oh, sacrificing itself for the greater good. And Zest stabilizes. What a weird game. What a weird start of a series here. Absolutely mad. These are already, like, as the first 2 games of a best of 11, I don't know what I'm supposed to expect anymore in the rest of these games coming up. I mean, after this, there's still 9 more games guaranteed between these 2 players, and I mean, if they're making it this way this early on, then I wonder what they're going to be doing later on. Wouldn't mind set off and taken out. Probably sacrifice the probe, I would imagine. Cyclones starting to rid the world of the pylon and cannon disease. Getting himself the lock-on ability upgrade as well. The Terminator missiles. Quite a couple of Cyclones here. They could prove quite a bit of trouble for the Gateway Stalkers here. Quite a bit of trouble. Neckfield's accelerating now, finishing up. Oh, if he gets that Wall Prism straight off the bat, that would be bloody fantastic, wouldn't it? Okay, there's the lock-ons. Yeah, they are going to go down unless if Innovation messes up here. He kind of does mess up, actually. Wall Prism stays afloat. Just needed one more shot and does manage to save a couple of these Stalkers. That could be quite important here. As Zest retreats to the safety of his base. He doesn't quite have the shield battery just quite yet, but is making great use of the War Prism here and the micro capability. Look at this micro from Zest here, trying absolutely everything he can, but it's still not enough. The Cyclone's just too much from Innovation right there, and we'll be able to get themselves the second victory secured as well. Quite nice there. A good defense off of the back against the cannons, and then just comes in with a bunch of Cyclones with the accelerator, the Macfield accelerators. Slaps Zest down with whatever he still had left. Very well played there. Game number 3 should be coming up shortly, as Zest is deciding what map he wants to play on, most likely. Death Aura Cannon Rush. It was a valiant effort, but ain't it a shame that those Terran buildings can float? That is truly a shame. Maybe there would have been a way for him to like wall off the exit, right, on the high ground. I guess there was a barracks in the wall as well. No, wait, there was a supply depot, yeah, so I guess you can't. Unless if you make it really big around the supply depot as well. But that's a lot of minerals. I'm not sure if you have enough minerals or something like that. Because if you do lock in all those SCVs on that side of the map, right, that should be pretty good. I'm not sure if it will be winning good, right? If he still gets himself that amount of Cyclones. Probably won't get that many Cyclones though, right? If he loses the majority of his SCVs. Oh well. Oh well. The more to think about. Here we go. The two-man wonder. Oh, the 2-point man wonder. The 2-man wonder. He's 2-man. Inside one machine, apparently. That's what I just said. Alright. Blue Terran player from Kaisi Gaming. Innovation. Top right side, the Red Brodals player fighting for the Dragon Phoenix Gamers, Mr. Zest. The gateway first ploy. Yes. The barracks after the supply depot ploy also here for innovation. Grabbing the first gas. I would assume this is the Reaper expand, right? Very casual things happening here. It's a bit weird to go back into this after game number 2, but sure, let's just roll with it. Giganath, after all, a much bigger map. Harder to get some sort of a cheese to work. By the way, guys, if you have a spare moment during the matches here and it's not too much excitement happening on the screen, we do have a Matcherino page as well. There's some codes that you can fill out as a coupon code. Doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to do anything really for it except for just fill in the code on the contribute button, and then that adds a little bit of extra prize money into the pockets of these players. I believe you get paid full victory for each map. So, you know, even if one player already has the majority wins within the best of 11, there's still motivation for the other player to try and get those sort of victories, so that, you know, you still get some money as well. Okay, interesting SCV placement right there. 2 robos going down. Zest, are you sure? Are you sure? You want to go double robo? Oh, he gets the marine. Oh, he doesn't get the marine. Oh, that was so close. That would have been nice. It's 1 HP now, though. It's going to be a while before medevacs are out. It's going to have a rough time at school, that marine. He's going to get bullied because now he's horribly disfigured by those adept shots. It's quite a gruesome tale. Had his butt hair burnt off with the last shot as well. Just barely managed to get into the bunker in time. Alright, well, a couple of Hellions here with a proxy starboard medevac coming up. Could be quite the return for innovation here. If he shuts down all those workers, can be quite difficult for Zest to have a real follow-up after the 2 Immortals, right? A lot of Immortals here. It's a lot of firepower, but you still need your workers alive to actually provide the gateway units to assist with the rest of the attack. Only 4 probes go down so far. That's manageable here for Zest. Especially because these 2 Immortals already on top of the production. Gonna get that reactor first. A very smart target there from Zest. Gonna get both of the add-ons actually if he really targets them. Looks like that is going to be the case. Trying to get the siege tanks. Not just trying. It's gonna get it. No problem. Doesn't want to take too much hull damage onto the Immortals here. But nice micro with the Warp Prism. It looks like Zest is really giving quite a handful here for innovation to handle, and I don't think he will have to handle this. Not at this pace, at least. Medevac is coming back. The Hellions are here. SCVs are being brought along. The War Prism is down, but the Immortals are standing, and a lot of SCVs are being shot. Innovation, though, still surprising even worker count after losing 18, 19. How many is he going to lose here? Well, okay, Starker losing vision right there. 19 workers. He's still ahead in workers, guys. Surprisingly. He's still alright. Oh, I thought those were probes coming along. That's not done just quite yet. Did have more reinforcements, but it just took them a while to get there without the Warp Prism presence, of course. Is he going to warp up? No, it's going to be a cancel, right? Let's go. No, it's not. Surprise! He comes in again. The Immortal and the Stalker will still get targeted by that siege tank, of course, as they are the only thing it can shoot, really. Stalker just barely staying alive. Gets rid of the Viking, as so the Warp Prism has free reign coming in to save the Adept now as well. More SCVs are going down. Looks like Innovation not out of the mud just quite yet. Still quite a struggle for him to try and get through. As Immortals just keep appearing on the front line. 2 of them continuously just being produced. A bunker trying to be established here on the high ground for Innovation. I'm not sure if that is going to be the way for him to win. Nice liberated there. Denying all the mining for Zest. That could be a good way to try and make something happen. Innovation microing is very, very hardest. But the Immortals with the War Prism may have the upper hand here. Both of them also, of course, shooting instantly rather than just having a projectile like the Stalkers. Can't continuously micro against them with the siege tank. Oh, he's doing a really good job with it. Oh, Immortals. I think this is it, guys. I think this is it. That siege tank micro, though. You gotta hand it to him. Oh my god, it's still going. Innovation. Come on, man. This is getting ridiculous. GG is called, but... round of applause for that. Some siege tank micro right there. That was something else. Quite nice. All that League of Legends practice is paying off, it seems. Pretty darn impressive. Yeah, but Zest, of course, still takes the game. That does mean he finds himself with the first victory in hand. And only a 1-point deficit instead of the 3. Which, you know what, should give you a bit more confidence overall. And you slowed down the momentum that Innovation was just picking up here quite rapidly. Submarine as the next map. Quite the Terran map. Not surprised that we're going to be brought over here by Innovation after that one. Chiganatha with the proxied robos. Quite a lethal strategy there from Zest. Still grabbing himself the Nexus as well, right? The natural expansion. Just not really making that much use of it. Never really made that many probes, but made it everything seem normal to Innovation. I think he kind of got caught off guard. Still though, formidable defense for somebody that didn't really know that it was coming. Right, I keep trying to like at the best of 11 on the screen. It's not, well, in the game, you know. Normally you would do like this best of 9, right? So it appears there, and you would do that in the game. But well, anyway, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Top left side, Edekaisi Terran. He's in the blue. Mr. Innovation. Bottom right side, the red Protoss player for the Dragon Phoenix Gamers. He is Zest. Ooh. Got himself a point. Still probably wants to grab a couple more here. I mean, he has the capabilities to do so, right? We know Zest can make this happen. Zest has been making some very big plays recently in the tournaments. Making a bit of a splash again. Getting some insane runs overall. Innovation. Well, he's still up there, right? He's still a very formidable Terran. But, you know what? No longer really in the top 4 consistently. No longer really in the top 3, once, whatever. Right, so in a way, it's hard to say it's a slump because, wow, he is still a beast, but just no longer really grabbing those big tournament runs. Those massive tournament runs. But then, to be fair, I mean, only so few people can, right? It's quite a hard way to judge. Right? Is this going to be the most normal game we've had so far? Interesting. Huh. Didn't expect Zest to, well, play passively on this map in particular either, right? Because it is a small map. Terrans absolutely love it. And, you know, maybe just try to get away from this map with a quick game, you know? With a quick, filthy strategy. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, I mean, it wasn't your map anyway. Reaper coming back around as two Stalkers are at the front door of innovation here. A little bit of repair has to come in now and again. As he is kind of struggling here to get something going for himself. That siege tank should bring a little bit of peace to the neighborhood, but... well, those Marines on their own will not be able to. Nice target fire there from Zest. Really good target fire. The SCVs now will be able to maintain the vision area of the Stalkers onto the low grounds. More Stalkerage coming forwards, but the Marines here may be able to get their first kill. That doesn't quite. Reaper comes back around, gets 3 probes in total. Not bad either. Now, Papa Siege Tank is here, ready to push back any type of Stalker aggression. Oh, Reaper does get taken out in the middle of the map there. Stalkers did find it. Blink is coming up here for Zest this time around. Yeah, truly the most normal game we've had so far. Even with Zest running across the map here with his first couple of Stalkers. I guess that is pretty normal, right? That is not out of the ordinary. Innovation with his command center on the high ground. Didn't even really have to move it twice. Just the one time towards the low ground here. So, what did he really lose? Let's take a look. That's acceptable. You know what? That's okay. Pretty good for innovation, I'd say. Has to watch out slightly here, depending on how aggressive Zest gets with the Blink Stalkers. He does have 3 gateways. Doesn't have a War Prism or anything else just quite yet. But those Blink Stalkers, well, they'll be Blink Stalkers momentarily. Doing a good job delaying this push. Especially without the combat shield just quite finished up yet. These Stalkers managing to get quite a nice couple of shots of picking away at those Marines. Trying to run around right now. Innovations onto the plan. Already rotating backwards himself also. Finds the Stalkers once again. Yes, Zest is doing an amazing job just keeping the Terran passive right now. And far removed from anywhere where Innovation can actually force the fight with Zest. Which would be anywhere near Zest's bases where he is, you know, forced to respond. Or actually lose a Nexus or a lot of probes. Or a lot of mining time overall. Maybe some tech structures, some overall, you know, buildings, gateways, whatever. And that would be less of a priority for Zest, of course. But still. What's up, Size? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you again. With us well and good. Robo Bay coming down with 3 more gateways here before we see a 3rd base from Zest. This could start getting quite aggressive here from Zest momentarily. We have a 3rd base for Innovation even. We do not. Yeah, Innovation also planning to just be extremely aggressive here with this full-on push. Coming across as soon as he probably has those 2 medevacs. Alright, well, both players just planning to be quite army orientated here. So we're going to have one massive fight. And depending on how that goes, we'll see. Quite a lot can happen, of course. The game could end in either player's direction quite quickly here. Or they both kind of trade equally and then suddenly they're just on equal footing again. And we start to go into a different part of the game. Couple of Stalkers here on the War Prism detour. Finding some SCVs and forcing this army to respond slightly. So Innovation is planning to move out. You know what? He's being delayed once again. He had a massive army supply of about 20 to 30 army supply lead. Zest is picking up steam very rapidly here with his added in gateways. And of course those Colossi from the production tab slowly being completed. Starkers and the War Prism of course still kind of have to watch out not to get overrun before he is together with the rest of his forces as well, of course. War Prism almost looking like it's trying to find some sort of a flank here. But okay, does manage to fly around the army, get her up with the rest of the forces. That's a really good thing. You'll be able to, of course, micro those Colossi a lot more this way. That's on top of the reinforcements. One siege tank is able to start shooting here as the bio just starts rampaging forwards. The Nexus is completely exposed and does commit to this position quite heavily. Zest's mining is going to be quite disturbed. Whoa, there it is. Right, it's done. Now the Colossi pickup micro is not going to be enough here. Not sufficient. The army for innovation just way too strong. Zest sending a lot of these zealots across the map. Maybe that was the mistake there. I don't know exactly, but Zest does pick the short end of the stick here. And yeah, that's the tap out. GG right there. Innovation takes game number 4 as well. Getting a 3-1 point score right now, and that is very impressive. I was not expecting this from Innovation here, considering his performance against Stats before. But then again, as we've said as well to start, Zest an entirely different type of Protoss from Stats, entirely different playstyles, and we can see how that kind of interacts with Innovation's playstyle as well. How am I doing? I'm doing pretty darn good myself. Just having a good day, a good Friday here. Got some innovation, I got some Zest. I personally am very enjoying the plays that we are getting from innovation recently, and yeah, I think it's a lot. It's just a lot of fun seeing this very high pace, kind of very super aggressive type of Terran play. I think it's quite nice. I think it's quite nice. You know, because a lot of the Terran play revolves around getting into the later game, as to have shield batteries be less of an influence as you are coming across with these major pushes, right? Shield battery overcharge, kind of the reason why a lot of that went away, and innovation here. I mean, it took him a while, but it seems like he is still making it work, right? Still making it work, still kicking, still beating players such as Zest with it, right? Thank you, Size. I appreciate it. Alright, yeah. As game number 5 is loading up here, please do remember the Matcherino is still a thing. If you haven't already checked it out, go check it out. Exclamation mark Matcherino in the chat should make it appear. Just do it myself as well, actually, right now. Matcherino. Bammo. There you go. That should bring it up. And there it is. Lovely. So yeah, go check it out if you have some time and some free hands, right? Give somebody else's money to StarCraft 2. Give somebody else's money to StarCraft 2. That's right, that's what I said. That's what you're doing, basically. Top left side, the blue Terran player fighting for the Kaisi Gamers. Innovation. Having quite a run so far. 3 games in his name out of 4 of them. The bottom right side, a man not so fortunate just quite yet, but can he get the difference in points back to 1? Dragon Phoenix gamer man himself, Zest. Okay, again, very conservative openings here from both players. Reaper fast expand, Nexus after Gateway. Well, I guess really conservative would be the cyber core before the Nexus, I suppose. But then again, probably then that would lure Zest into just 4 gating or something like that. Just proxying 2 Stargates suddenly on the other side of the map. It's like, well, its cyber core is done quick now, isn't it? So we should try to make use of it. That makes sense. Straight up into the Twilight Council here. It's going to get scouted as well. The Stalker a little bit later here because of the cyber core delay, of course. But yeah, seeing this Twilight Council should be pretty darn nice for innovation. Knows that there's no Stargate stuff coming in from the back. Just needs to make sure that, you know, he knows how much Stalker stuff is going to happen here. Or if Zest is planning to just going to go towards the 2 base, or the 3 base off of this. With the defensive Stalkers. It is something he had been doing for a while. Right? Zest was trying to get himself into the macro games more often, rather than the offensive type of play. Feels like, especially with today, he is stepping away a bit further from that. But he could just bring it out again, right? Hasn't left his repertoire just quite yet. Stalkers. Ooh, nice attempt. Trying to get that Reaper. But the Reaper, oh, doesn't quite get into the main base. I thought for a moment it was going to get away, but just barely doesn't. Stalkers almost a bit too confident in their prediction of where the Reaper was moving towards. Banshees with Cloak coming in for innovation as Zest is setting up the Blink Stalker defense. Robo also should provide himself with a nice observer here. Starting with a Warp Prism though. Might mean that the Stalkers and the Warp Prism are going on a bit of a journey. That might also mean, of course, that the Banshee then will have more free reign over the probe line. Back at home for innovation. We still have a... It looks like... Alright, a single siege tank setup, at least going to be prepared. We got the bunker, and most likely a second siege tank on the way as well afterwards. This Banshee, though, might fly across one of the Stalkers. Not sure if that was spotted. I think just barely not, perhaps, as the Banshee was on the high ground there, going up the ramp. It's a question of seconds or milliseconds. Innovation did see the Stalker, though, and... Has a couple of these SCVs already prepped on top of the bunker. Another bunker at the forefront. He saw the Twilight Council and he was prepared that this most likely will be quite aggressive. There are 4 gateways available. And that is going to show with these numbers of Stalkers. There they come. Even with the 3 SCVs there, it just doesn't matter. Gets torn apart instantly. Bit of Warp Prism Micro to boot as well. Not going to lose a single Stalker up until... Well, I'm not even sure up until when. Still has to happen. Quite a couple of those SCVs already falling. The Banshee trying to hurry across the map here. Trying to get some counter-attack damage dealt. The second siege tank is providing a lot of firepower here. Takes out a couple of those Stalkers. Still a rough position though for Innovation, who's trying to reclaim his natural. His orbital is getting dangerously low. Has to start repairing. The Stalkers still pretty far away from the siege tanks, but... will be moving out of there. 10 workers killed off. The Banshees have to group up as they are going to have to combine their strength against the shield batteries here. There we go. One-shotting the probes right now is getting a fair bit of damage here as well. And okay, there we go. 9 of them fall. One of the Banshees does manage to leave the area as well. Stalkers aiming for another attack, another strike here. It seems into the main base this time around. The siege tank not in siege position. Innovation trying to reposition it quickly. Getting those Stalkers away and the Marines ready to start the buffering. More Banshees being constructed for Innovation here. Once round 2 with the double Banshee presence, it seems. And now we'll start to transition into the medevacs, most likely. Bit of War Prism. Stalker presence. Shooting down 1 or 2 of these SCVs. Oh, nice blink. There we go. Gets the Marine. Well, a couple of them as well, actually. Quite nice. Lovely. A hidden pack of Stalkers still waiting for an opportunity to strike as well. Innovation really not anticipating those to be there anymore. That's a fair assumption, I would say. Still no third base for Inno, right? Oh, no, he does have the third base. Alright. Thing is, I know we've seen third bases before from Inno, but the Banshees are flying across the probe lines here. Getting 7 of them in total. And do have to vacate the area. DT's now on the other side. Quite a couple, 3 of them in fact, suddenly. Oh no, we do not have a scan available for innovation. This is absolutely abysmal. 4 DTs now, just shutting everything down in the natural base. The bunker goes down, the siege tank goes down, a lot of Marines, a ton of SCVs, and it's not done just quite yet. The missile turrets desperately trying to get them constructed, but it's too little too late. There's finally a scan available, but the War Prism gets taken out in the sky. A little bit of a victory there for innovation after taking quite the hit. At least does manage to get all 4 of the DTs and the War Prism. The Stalkers also deciding to give up on that position right there. 9 worker lead available for Zest. Pretty good overall. Hoping to see that. Maybe we'll get a 4th base out of Zest here momentarily, but you know what, we're seeing just a bunch of gateways. Maybe he is anticipating to be able to just win the game straight up here. I'm not entirely confident in that, if that is his intent. Quite a Stalker force here, but still a very timid Stim. Just a few units right there. Gonna save up on some of that medevac energy, which he doesn't have that much of. Seeing the Observer, getting rid of it. May have to scan on the top as well, make sure that the Stalkers are not rotating around, as they sometimes do. At the same time, though, you probably want to keep your scans available in case the DTs jump on top of your army. Stalkers and Zealots and DTs, they're all shebang here. Coming around for a major flank maneuver, and innovation just caught in the middle of the map. Not really sure where he's meant to go. He's just going to run forwards. He's going to go straight into the Proto space. Probably has to try and lift up his own buildings here. Goes into the main base. Alright. He has a really good army. So if he does enforce that fight. Okay, gets the Dark Shrine. That is absolutely brilliant, actually. No more DTs will be made for Zest. And that could have been the biggest problem here for innovation, of course, as he does not have any scans available, as his orbitals are now floating around. Doesn't have any EMP either. The best way to deal with a DT right now is with friendly fire. Well, not friendly, well, splash damage from Widow Mines. That is the best way. Well, yeah, friendly fire with the siege tank, right? I guess you could do that as well. That's not great. It's not great. Zest losing a lot of his buildings quite quickly. His probes are approaching the other side of the map, though. And still has a bit of money here in the bank to try and get something started. Oh, the siege tank does fall. Jumped onto by those Stalkers from the back. Innovation trying to once again set up that orbital command center on the left side of the map here. Maybe start up some mining once more. Has the Banshees doing quite a bit here as well? Do we not have observers? How many do we have? We have 2 of them available. They are quite far away. And that one Banshee is keeping a lot of the Protoss forces at bay. Has tabs on them now as well. Knows where they're going. Innovation looking to take the fight. He does have scan energy available, actually, right? He did manage to securely land that one. Oh, only one Widowmine does land. That is the scan right away. Does he get all the DTs? There's still 2 more left. He should have another scan available. There we go. Does get all of them. The Banshee on the backside as well. He's microing as hard as he can, but will it be enough? The Medevac's out of energy now, and I think with the Medevac's out of energy, that is going to be too much. The pickup micro not going to be as solid as the previous time. But wait a moment. Did he kill all the observers? I think he killed... No, wait. There's one more observer remaining here. And there's another one on the production tab right now being built. This is a game Zest should have in all accounts, but... This is a game of imperfect information, of course. What does Innovation have? Innovation has 2 Medevacs, a single Marine, and a Banshee. That is it. That is all that's going on for him right now. He's getting the Banshee on the probe, so he is managing to shut down all the mining. There's the Cloak as well. Ooh, nice save with the War Prism. Gets 3 of them away from there. Banshee about to get out of Cloak, and is out of the sky now as well. And that must be a GG. It's called. Zest takes game number 5 and brings the series back to a 1-point deficit. Pretty nice, pretty nice. We have a real show on our hands here, it seems. Zest and Innovation. Quite a good matchup, I would say. Both very aggressive players, so we're having a lot of these weird situations where both of them are just abandoning their base. Running across the map, being like, you know what? If you want to do this, fine. I'll do it as well. Since both of them attack at the same time and then just taking different pathways around. Zest doing that on purpose as well, by the way. He knew the army was coming through the middle, right? That's why he was blinking off to the side as quickly as he could. So he could get that pathway around, wraparounds, and then just be on the Terran bases before the Terran was actually on top of the Protoss bases. Sleep is good for health. I would say so as well. Alright, apparently we are going to have ourselves a 5-minute break here before we start game number 6. Thank you all for watching, everybody. We're going to continue onwards in about 5 minutes. As soon as we're back, we're going to start game number 6 and see what happens there. Alright? Alright. While we're on the break, make sure to, of course, drop a follow on the Trovo. Make an account if you haven't already. And help us out with the match arena. That would be greatly appreciated, everybody. And see you in a little while. All right.
This is right there in his face. Oh my god, this is the worst position in the world for the Rogue. Okay, so now one thing that's really cool to see as well is that one of those Marines is actually trapped behind one of the racks. So that is a pretty big deal. TY is gonna have to pay attention to that, but at the same time, it's gonna help him out a lot because that's gonna help him defend that location. Now, Rogue does know that this is here, but a little bit too late, as the Spine Crawler only halfway done. The Zerglings are gonna fall. And I mean, he is gonna pull the drones, just desperately trying to defend right now. Looks like it's not going to be enough as they start to fall. The link count never really going to get up to that critical mass that they need to break this. The Spine Crawler, again, nice, but it has to continuously reposition here. And look at that. TY can just focus fire that down. I think this is pretty much it for Rogue. TY has tied it up. Yeah, there you go. The last of the is falling. My God, TY.
And the army supply is getting a lot closer. That coupled with the fact that Statsy does have +2 attack. He is lacking 1 upgrade, but that happens when you are down in economy. That Disruptor will not really get a good shot. But with the shield battery overcharge, I mean, these Archons are just going to sit here and tank everything.
Man, that Archon like soaked in so much damage here, but look at here, Stats ready to pounce. Feels like you have enough, but only 1 Colossus left, only 1 Disruptor left, and there's so much tank still in the back here for Beyond.
Well, you know, we do have to pay attention to the other side of the map, though, because 13 SCVs have gone down. Yes, it's now taken care of, but now Beyond, for the first time in this game, he does not have more workers than his opponent, so he does have to be careful of that. Now, the Disruptor shot's going to be okay. It's not going to be incredible. And once again, the Stalkers, they will move on forward on top of these Zealots as well, but there are just too many tanks here. And yeah, a couple tanks will go down, but the tanks still far behind, and the rally comes on in. Beyond double the army supply of his opponent. He does have to be careful of this Disruptor, and it will not hit anywhere near the quality of the hit that he is looking for. All the Disruptors will go down, and GG Beyond. He takes game number 1.
Hello, hello. What is up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to the 11 matches between Innovation and Zest. We are about to embark on the 6th one. So far, we're going quite closely in the score. We're 3-2 right now. And, yeah. We're talking about, apparently, Home Story Cup. That is also, apparently, we're coming up again. So that's cool. That's cool. Someone of either Inu or Enki, I believe, can stream it as well. Probably in their native tongue. But Inu can stream. Okay, okay. Inu will be able to stream in Korean. That's pretty cool. So into the community, we'll be able to... get themselves a spot as the casters for Home Story Cup. That's really cool. That is really cool. I think we're waiting for the players to make that comeback, and then we're going to get things started again. Should be good. Wait, 14, 11, 14? Are we starting later? Five. Yeah, it should be 5. I don't know. I'm confused. 11, 14. 11-14. I don't think he means to time with that, does he? I'm confused. I'm thoroughly confused here. Normally, Inu and I get information across fairly accurately, but I don't know what's going on today. Maybe I'm just misinterpreting things, so maybe Inu, I don't know. Maybe he's having an off day with his own translation into English. English is a difficult language for Koreans to learn. There's not a lot of it going around there, you know. It's getting here and there a little bit, but it would be kind of similar as to, you know, in Western countries where you have like Korean symbols or like Japanese symbols, Chinese symbols on like a t-shirt or something, and you don't know what it means, right? Maybe somebody taught you at some point or you looked it up, but you don't really know what it means. You couldn't pronounce it in a way, right? Similar thing in Korea. But yeah, I guess we know, because if we try to learn Korean ourselves, It's not that easy either, is it? It does take quite a while. A lot of effort, dedication. Well, anyway. Zest 10 Innovation getting ready for game number 6 here. It will be played on Oxide, the next map on our schedule. And we'll see what they have in store for us here. Blink Micro is quite an opportunity here, right? There are some nice ledges overall. Yeah, only time will tell. And Innovation and Zest might have something to say about it also. But mostly time. The Chinese Terran player, he will be able to tell us later on down the line. Maybe even now already, who knows? He's a smart guy. That's why, you know, if ever somebody says time will tell, they mean it because he knows about it, right? Bottom left side, blue Terran player fighting for the KZ Gamers. Innovation. Top right side, the red Protoss fighting for the Dragon Phoenix Gamers. He is Zest. Alright. Next game. The next game. Already an SCV here across the field. Well, that's not there to make a command center, I tell you. You know what? I could be wrong, but that does suspiciously look like a barracks to me. Quite a significant resemblance to a barracks. Anyway. Zest is still in the dark, doesn't quite know what's going on. We'll just be going for his Nexus and then send that probe across most likely. See where that second pylon of his is going to be making his appearance. I mean, this probe, it doesn't have to go for a scout necessarily, right? It could just be going for right over here. Plop down a pylon, a gateway, and blammo. Do his thing again. At least it's not a forge. Oh my god, you're joking. Innovation. What? Innovation. What? He's going for the ghosts right now. Just a straight up ghost build. Okay. Alright. You know what? Oh, right. Crack open your beers, fellas. We're back in Weird Valley. Where everything is just a little bit off. I am as disturbed as pleased. Gonna grab himself the cloak upgrade right here for the ghost. That's the first ghost is coming out. This is something you don't see every day. The probe is trying to get a good scout here. He did see the Ghost Academy actually as well, so that's a big bummer right there. Probably Innovation could have taken care of proxying that outside of the base as well. Probably would have been a better choice. Right now we have Zest going for a shield battery on top of his Nexus and immediately plops down the Robo. Will be able to get himself a observer as soon as that is done, of course. First ghost is out. Will not just be running out on the field just quite yet. Maybe he's hoping that the probe just barely didn't see it. I'm not sure. Or maybe he's just like, alright, well, I guess I just better bank him up now a little bit and actually just overwhelm him rather than just come in with the stealth and try to catch him off guard. There's still going to be a reasonable moment here before an observer is present, of course, but it's a very short-lived one, and the shield battery most likely will be able to just kind of hold off until then. Especially with the look at this, the full wall off from Zest as well. Very smart play from Zest. Not having any of it. May even want to consider EMPing these buildings now so he actually can get through. Does use the snipe. Needs to start cloaking up right now. He's just gonna run off. Just gonna run off. Now the Adept and the Zealots are arriving at the other side of the map as well. This is a very short-lived strategy, guys. It was quite a cool one, and if it didn't get scouted, so at least the Ghost Academy didn't, maybe something would have come of it, but I mean, that was just the perfect response there for Zest. Although, to be fair, he was already getting himself that second gateway ready as well, quite early on. So I'm not entirely certain if he would have been helpless in that situation either. But anyway, GG is called. Zest takes game number 6 and ties up the show. Sets them up 3-3, and that will lead us into game number 7. That is the halfway mark, guys. That is now stretched, which was basically halfway through game number 6, right? That is where it should be. So it would be 5.5 games, right? So halfway game 6, that is where we passed the half, which was 2 minutes and about 14.5 seconds in. Around that ballpark. 2 minutes and 14.5 seconds. The game only lasted for 4 minutes and 29 seconds. That's a rough one. Regardless of how rough the other games are going, we will continue. We are forcing them into this battle of awkward aggression against one another. Well, we're not forcing them to be that aggressive, but it's just within their nature, right? It's just what they do. So yeah, we're going into game number 7. Lightshade. Lightshade being the map chosen here. And is it? No, wait, this one isn't chosen, right? Because this is just the only map that is still left in the map pool right now. So actually, no map pick there for our man Innovation. Unfortunately, we're going to continue on with the map picking, of course, after this one for the loser, because then we'll have all the maps open again. I believe that's how we do this, anyway. Well, regardless, top left side we have a blue Terran player fighting for the KC Gamers. Innovation. Bottom right side, Dragon, a Phoenix, a Gamer. I don't know what he is anymore, but you know what? I know he's called Zest. The Red Protoss. Right here, bringing it all the way back to 3 points. Once again, tying up the series here. Getting everyone hot in their seats. As he is looking hot in his own seat. At which point does it actually be... Because, like, it's quite a normal thing, right? For all the casters to call Zest, like, a very handsome man. And, like, we have had quite a couple of ways to describe him, right? At which point does that actually... Wait, no, never mind. When does that become harassment? I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't mind it myself, but... And again, it's a different type of thing, I suppose, entirely, right? It would be. It's a bunch of weird guys having fun. At the expense of the good-looking Asian man. Oh, little SCV boy in trouble. Does get picked off. Alright, well, life for a life. Probe gets gunned down immediately. The death penalty still stands within the Empire of Innovation. You take a life, you lose your right to have your own life, apparently. Even though, of course, that probe never really was alive. We won't tell Innovation that, because, you know what, he does have a severe sense of justice, and... Well, if it feels completed right now, that would be a good thing. Zest here, coming up with the first adept, trying to get on top of these units before the bunker is ready. We'll be able to get that Marine. It's going to get the Reaper also. It's very close. Yeah, there you go. Quite nice. The SCVs will escape to safety in the bunker, but... yeah, without any shooty boys there, of course, there's no mining going to be happening there for a moment. Another adept is coming in pretty soon. A single Widowmine and 2 Marines are gonna have to hold the gates here. I like the Widowmine on the back side, actually, as the Adept's quite likely to try and circumvent the bunker with the Shades. Might just find himself there in a tricky situation. That's a lot of Adepts. That is a lot of adepts, alright. Will he see the Widow Mine? I think he may have. Goes back on top of the ramp here. Trying to get some shots against the supply depot, seeing what he can get done. Yeah, I'm fairly certain he saw it, right? Look at that. Not even committing to that angle. Committing to the bunker, though. Realizing there wasn't that much firepower coming from it. And will just immediately take it on down. 2 Marines right there. Not really a sure shot to survive. They do not, in fact. Banshee defends with a Cyclone coming up here for innovation in his time of stress and need. That is going to be his answers. Maybe the Banshee will be just there for counter harassment, right? Get a unit across the map here in order to force some of those Stalkers backwards. Could be quite good indeed. Oh god, the Cyclone is stuck in this weird corner. Does manage to set off the Widow Mine as well, but I mean, that's a single adept for the Cyclone. That's not a trade I would have liked to take here for innovation. Endless amount of potential within those Cyclone units, of course, if you just keep locking on and running away. They are quite expensive because of this as well. Third base for Zest already coming up as well as he is retreating to his own side. No longer will try to contain innovation. And a Twilight Council is the next step. 2 more gates. Continuing with a forward gateway there. The pylon, of course, still existing within the hemisphere of innovation. We'll need to take, or try to take that into account before he pushes out. Otherwise, risk a severe beating onto his SCVs by a large group of zealots just kind of running in. Never a nice time. Well, Banshee gets a little bit of poking done, but shield battery there, ready to defend. As well as some Stalkers, so not the best for innovation. Worker supply, not that far apart though. Overall, it's, you know, considering pretty alright still for innovation. He only lost a single worker, really. He lost quite a bit of army supply, though, I'd say. The Cyclone, 3 Marines, a Widow Mine, Reaper. For only the 2 Adepts. That could be it, meaning that a next potential attack here from innovation is just going to be a little bit less successful overall. Storm is being chronoed out. We are seeing Stimpack finishing up here with a lot of other upgrades and 2 medevacs on the way. I think the time for innovation to push is coming up very shortly. Is he ready for this drop play though? There are 4 High Templar in this War Prism. War Prism gets spotted, so that's quite nice for innovation there. And also the medevac getting spotted though. Those Widow Mines going back quickly. Innovation unaware, of course, that medevac or that War Prism is filled with High Templar here, not just Stalkers or Zealots. Would most likely make quite an attempt to catching it if he knew. There goes the 3rd base for innovation. It's a little bit slow, but does get it settled. Maybe because of the presence of that War Prism here, innovation not feeling like he should be pushing out. I mean, he lost a couple of games, right? Because Zest was just doing the counter-attack as he was trying to go across. His base is still a little bit exposed. Those siege tanks aren't covering the one side completely. So the ranged units of Zest could start poking in on it. And then force the bio to get quite out of the siege tank reach. And then you could try to get yourself a couple of storms off. Instead, Zest is just going to run straight into the natural base here with all of his zealots. Getting on top of the SCVs and now coming in with the storm as the bio is running to try and help. Try and rescue the situation here. Still a lot of storm remaining. Those High Templars are just continuing onwards as the Archons and Starkers tanking most of the damage of the siege tanks. More Zealots are necessary though to buffer. High Templar trying to get close to that biofront once again, but it's a lot of Marauders that aren't taking too much damage from the storm, especially with the Medevacs right on top of them as well. There's some good storms, killing off some units and putting some in the red, allowing some Zealots to run in again and get some more kills. More units for Zest here, trying to just keep flooding on through. Starting to lose some probes as well himself. Maybe the Banshee across the map that was trying to pull something. Looks like that Banshee is gone now. And Zest gonna stop the offense here as well. Start heading back home. Here's 57 worker supply versus only 32 though. So I'd call that quite a successful bout. Only lost 2 of the High Templar. Units lost tab, looking quite nice for him as the resources advantage here quite heavily in his favor. Losing a couple of Zealots, never nice of course, but we'll be able to get out of there with the majority of his force and still meet the army of innovation with a similar supply. Which usually does mean in this stage of the game that the Protoss has a bit of a better army. But we'll see. Ooh, oh, the War Prism gets blown up. The Widowmine coming in as the absolute hero. Saving the day. Not a single storm will be able to get shot off right there. And that's going to be the end of the assault instantly. Zest here. Wow. A little bit of a mistake there, perhaps. Quite the deadly one to boot as well. Nice force field used there in the middle of the map, trying to delay this offensive right now. This counter-attack from Innovation that is barreling down the middle. Will try to find itself a base or two. Zest once more just goes for the counter-attack though. Does not mind even that the Terran is already at his own base. Here he is arriving at the side of the Terran, ready to keep reinforcing his units with the War Prism as much as he can. Grow this army up as much as possible before the real fight happens. He wants to try and shut down any type of production that Innovation has here. A lot of probes are already falling. We do have some good storms in that War Prism still available as well. There we go. On top of the Widowmines, does get both of them. Losing a High Templar. That's nasty. Okay, has to go in. Well, I'm not sure if he had to go transform them into an Archon, but will do so. Nonetheless, Innovation splitting up his own army as well, trying to avoid a mass recall taking place and saving one of these nexuses here, or one of the bases. So it does get rid of the mining entirely. Zest still with quite a bit of minerals in the bank. Always comes in quite handy to be a player that, you know, is famous for having a bit of a bank in moments like these, because suddenly, well, you can still make 2 more nexuses, right? Then you just continue happily mining along with your 18 probes. 16 probes. Everything is shut down here for Zest, mining-wise and production-wise soon as well. Oh, nice storm there. Those are 5 Widowmines. Yeah, alright, gets 3 of them. Needs to watch out. I know energy is free, but I mean, you still need to have energy if the fight does come into fruition. The army supply for Zest here actually quite... yeah, with 14 supply higher right now. That is very, very good. Just needs to watch out not to fly his Warp Prisms into the Widowmines, or, well, at least his High Templar. And this should be a pretty good one. The Zealots also got to watch out for those Widowmines, of course. Can do quite a bit of harm as well. The bio units for Innovation not quite grouped up just yet, but will start the poke with this left flank here. Some units coming in on the right side. Looks like a mistake. Targeting down some High Templar right now. And the High Templar shoots down the Widowmines. That's a very good way for him to just kind of allow his Zealots free passage onto this army that is mainly consisting out of Marauders. So I think we may have ourselves a victor here, guys. Zest with the superior army supply, with the, well, the army that is just doing better against what Innovation has as well. All those zealots being able to run on top of those marauders just tank so much damage as the stalkers shoot everything down one by one. GG is called. Zest takes game number 7 and takes the lead for the first time in this series, if I'm not mistaken. Quite a nice job there by the Red Protoss. Setting himself up to, you know what? Gain more traction within the rest of this series here now. Innovation, he seemed so strong. Didn't he start off with a 3-1 here to start? I believe that was the case. Wasn't it? Or maybe it was close to. I don't know. I feel like a couple of times we were between the difference of Innovation. If Innovation would win, it would have either a 3-point advantage or, you know, if Zest would win, he would have only a 1 point. Submarine being picked once again here by Innovation, as it will be his map choice. Maybe a light shade, not quite his cup of tea. Could be the case. A shame then that, of course, one of his losses kind of defaulted into that map. But afterwards, he will be able to grab whatever map he wants again. So, here we go. Submarine. Game number 8 out of the 11. So, still with this one involved as well. 4 more games. No, wait, is that right? 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. Yeah. Right, suddenly behind on the point boards. There's something happening here. He's starting to lose his grip. The blue Terran player from Kaiser Gaming. Innovation. Bottom right side, the red Protoss player from the Dragon Phoenix Gaming clan. He is Zest. Grabbed the advantage in points here, and, well, he looks pretty sharp doing so. Will be able to keep that type of stuff going. Has he figured out his opponent? Did he make some nice adjustments overall, and slowly is figuring out all the tiny little plans Innovation may or may not have for him? Okay, once again, we're doing the normal things here. It's only a matter of time with these two, though, right? They've proven it over and over again. I mean, weirdness will occur. Look at this probe of Zest. Where's that going? That's not going to scout. It's once again going to throw down a gateway here, isn't it? Most likely will be the case. To be fair, it's a very fun style to watch. Just immediate pressure onto your opponents. Right off the bat, you have a struggle going on, you know? Didn't quite see the gateway or the pylon. He did see the probe coming from that angle, though, so he may have a bit of an idea. But looks like, again, he's not really picking up on it, so we'll not go in for the scout. That is a shame. That is a rightful shame. There's a bit of an opportunity here to try and target down that pylon a little bit. Maybe he's afraid of the first adept coming across. I can kind of get that, but, you know, you have a little bit of a moment there. At least to get the scouts, right? At least to see. At least to know. Third Marine not with the other two. Does come in a little bit later, and we'll save the day. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, there's 2 of them, boys. On the run. Oh, they are going to lose one of their buddies. 2 more replacements coming in. Johnny Jr. had to enter the military a bit quicker than he anticipated, but he's ready in the bunker right now. Actually, he's standing outside the bunker. Wondering why he joined the military if he's not even allowed to spawn the bunker. Right, this is looking pretty solid here for innovation, not losing too much. The 2 SCVs going down now, it's a bit of a bummer of course, but it seems to be okay. Although that's more adepts actually. That is more adepts. There's more and more marines also being produced. To be fair, we have the triple barracks builds here. Should be able to put a stop to this fairly soon, right? It shouldn't take too long. The siege tank would be nice as well, but the marauders here may be enough on their own. 5 SCVs in total now with this lost mining time. This is starting to add up actually. This is starting to add up quite quickly. Zest really gaining the upper hand here, but the triple barracks still can be quite a strong thing to have to deal with only adepts, right? Guess he's going for blink stalkers as well behind this. I would have liked to see the adept glaives at this point, really. Oh. Right, and Zest kind of just backs off. Probably seeing the size of the infantry force growing, it's becoming a bit more concerning here for him, of course, to be on that side of the map. One bad fight could mean losing all those adepts. You're not paying attention for a little bit, right? You don't get your shade off in time. All those concussive shells, all those stimmed marines right on top of your noggin. They're going to shoot down a lot of y'all before you manage to escape, teleport on the other side. Looks like the Blink Stalkers are going to take over. They have a bit of a better escape mechanism, of course. Did he send the Adepts as well? No, the Adepts are still at home. Going to be utilized as a defensive tool here. Oh, he scouted it. He found it. That's great. He did it. Oh, Sunlily, thank you for the cast on fire, by the way. Very much appreciate the spell. What else is going on? We're getting charge, +1 attack for both these players. Starport is finally finishing up as well. Maybe with some medevacs, Innovation is going to feel comfortable to try and try his metal across here towards the Protoss side of the field. A lot of extra gateways being added in. That production is going to ramp up quite quickly, as well as that charge upgrade should be finished before a real battle takes place, because, well, Innovation not yet running across the map. So that's a big boon for Zest here, who's heavily relying on the gateway reinforcements. Those zealots, one of the better ways to try and get your forces back up to snuff. A lot of HP just added into the pool, and quite the nice buffer for those remaining Stalkers, Immortals, Adepts and such to keep everything safe. Goes for the reinforcements point first. Make sure that he won't be pushed into from the back. Doesn't lose that Marauder either. Third base on the high ground as he is coming across here. Alright, will this be enough for our man Innovation, or has Zest got enough? Stalkers on the forefront here. A couple of sentries as well, ready to try and split up that bio ball. Immortals the main force here. If they get to focus on those Marauders, they will be able to tear them apart quite quickly. We need to see those Immortals, of course, target down Marauders as much as possible. There's quite a lot of micro going on here for Zest. He needs to blink the force fields, the Guardian shields, and then target down the Marauders as well. Yeah, Immortals, there we go. Now kind of getting some of the prize shots. Also getting rid of those those Widow Mines, and it seems like Zest is somewhat holding for the time being. Innovation having a rough time pushing past those force fields. If they were not there, probably would have been an entirely different fight, as Innovation just pushes right on top of the Immortals and then just gets rid of them. We have a pause here. Luckily, it's not mid-fight, but it's close to mid-fight. Right, it's almost fight time. But apparently Zest again needs a little moment here. I'm not entirely certain what is going on with him. Maybe that's just something happening in his living space. Because he did ask for the pause as well right off the bat when we started game number 1. So it seems like there's some outside influence, perhaps. Well, anyway, the army size of Innovation is a bit higher here, but that is also a bit deceiving, as most of that supply is still in, well, a lot of it is still in the production tab, and still marching across the map right now, right? So Innovation, well, he actually has across the field against Zest, probably not something that is going to be enough for Innovation to really crack here, right? I think he's starting to pick up on this fact. He's starting to move backwards. The observer, keeping an ever vigilant eye on the army movement here, sees the retreat and is going to be able to have a big sigh of relief as Zest starts up his own upgrades, adds in a couple of gateways with the production chain buildings as well, and Innovation was ready already with the Ghost Academy, so should have a good moment here, already prepared for the High Templar, inevitably. That should be coming in later on. Ooh, little Widow Mine drop. Does get spotted quite quickly, but one of the Widow Mines, no, does not manage to get any rockets up in the air. Bit unfortunate that for our Terran player, but you know what? It happens. It was a bit of a gamble there, of course, just running in blindly with the medevac and the Widow Mines. Of course, if you do scan, you see whether or not there's Stalkers there, but you're also kind of giving away that you're interested in whether or not there's Stalkers there. Right, big fight is occurring here. The Storm's trying to land. The EMPs managed to get pretty good connections onto the Zealots and the Stalkers, but the main meat grinder of the Protoss is still gunning fully forwards there with all their shields. The Immortals and the Archons, of course. Some of them are getting shot down a little bit by the forefront of the Bioforces right now, but it is still quite a good fight for Zest, and GG is called. Innovation losing another round here, and that is game number 8 also going into Zest's favor. He has really picked up the momentum. A lot of steam rolling for Zest right now out of his steam engine. And yeah, how many wins in a row is that now for Zest? That's like 3 or 4. It's quite a couple. It's quite a couple. But yeah, Innovation needs to find a way to stop this from happening, right? Stop letting this monstrosity just rampage all across over him. And find a way to, well, at least get himself some more points on the board, right? So start tying up the series here. Because so far, Zest is running away. He's got 5 points right now. Just needs one more to get the overall, well, overall majority of the prize pool here. Protoss. What's up, Drunken SCV? I'm glad that you did that. Very well done. He absolutely did get Protoss, didn't he? Just by Zest, though, to be fair. So it's a pretty darn good Protoss. Oh, man. Here we go. Game number 9. Right, yeah, it is. Crazy. Crazy, going quick now. Top left side, Kaiser Gamerman himself, Blue Terran, Innovation. Bottom left side, the Red Protoss, fighting for a Dragon, I hear, and a Phoenix. And they like video games. He is called Zest. Checking to see what kind of buildings we're going to go for here. Probably a gateway. Yeah, alright. Called it. Barracks. Oh, look at that. Wonderful. Just what you'd hoped for. Oh, well, what we all hoped for. Although, to be fair, somewhere deep inside, I'm still kind of hoping for another cannon rush here from Zest. I know it absolutely failed the last time, but... I mean... I don't know, it's just a nice little variance right there, right? Might help Inno get another win as well. I mean, if this is, if this would be a best of 11, right? Not just all 11 matches played. Zest this will match point right here. If Innovation actually wins 2 more games, we would actually go into the ace match of a best of 11. Right? We make it all 11 matches played because we think that probably a lot of 6-2s are going to happen otherwise, right? We're only going to get 8 games. That's like 3 games less than we want to see. So yeah, or 6-1s or 6-0s, right? It's like, well, that's a disappointing day. So just doing all matches played like this, every win gets you a bit of money. It's a pretty fun way to do it. But, I mean, if Innovation actually does manage to win 2 games now, I mean, I would very much like that idea overall. And this would be a crazy best of 11 going into the ace match. Just doesn't happen that much, you know? Twilight Council Blink? Most likely, right? I mean, he has been going for a lot of adept play, but we have no... Oh, a Dark Shrine. Oh. Phew. Okay, Dark Shrine with the War Prism here. Last time he did utilize those Dark Templars, they did do pretty darn well. But... No, yeah, he did win that one, right? On Romanticide, I believe it was, at least. Maybe he used them multiple times, actually. There's been quite a couple of games, but distinctly remember Romanticide, and he managed to eke out a victory there. A little weird wobble there from the Adept. Lost traction with gravity for a moment. Now, this Widowmine drop could be quite nice against a player that is going DT, right? But at the same time, going DT against a player that's going Widowmine drop, not the worst either. We do have a Raven already in production, and we have 2 missile turrets being constructed here. Innovation, I think he picked up on the fact what's going down here. Well, it's going down. And yeah, we'll be able to just kind of force those 2 DTs away. Zest here a little bit slow with the worker pool, but we'll manage to do it in time. The 2 Widowmines, only 2 kills right there. And both players prevent quite a bit of damage being taken here. Quite surprising. You know, it's always harder to have a proper defense when you're also going for an offensive strategy yourself. But both players here holding each other off quite nicely. So, well done. Well done, I suppose, right? Comes in with the Archons now. The Archons may be able to fight against those Marines quite nicely. Has to watch out for the Raven, though. I mean, the Raven does have Interference Matrix. If you're not in time with the pulling the Archons into the War Prison, they will be stranded there. And then you'll just be stuck. Alright. Missile turrets. Forcing the War Prison the other way, apparently. And no, never mind. Still going this way. Wow. That was very close. Let's get out. Main bit. Nothing chasing it so far from innovation. So it survived. It survived. That's pretty good. Pretty darn good. 2 Archons. They are quite expensive after all. Zest is third base, starting to mine quite nicely. Innovation here. More so, again, looking for, I believe, what we could call a timing attack. And this is one of the timing attacks that may actually bear some fruit. Seeing how the DT attack didn't quite manage to do that much, it did still delay Zest quite a bit. The overall attack with the Widow Mines, it's a lot less of an investment for the Terran to do something like that, right? Because you want to have the factory anyway. You want to have the medevac anyway. Widow Mines not bad in a straight up fight either. I'm not sure if he lost them. Did he lose? He lost one of them. But yeah, overall still pretty good. I know you can make the claim as well, right? Well, the Archons are pretty good still for the Protoss, yeah, but I mean the DT tech and such, it's still quite a bit. And I mean, if you only have to, well, I still feel like it's a little bit less fortunate, you know, a little bit less proper. Bit more of a sunken cost. Would be nice if we got to a 5-5 score. Yeah, I know, right? What if I actually get there? What prism on the right? Big Doom Drop on the left. Doom Drop meeting 1 single star, 2 Starkers. 2 Starkers a cannon, and what else? Nothing. Alright, so this is going to do pretty good. What about that War Prism? It's just sitting there for the time being. Not really sure where it's supposed to go. A couple of other turrets here trying to zone out the army as he gets out of there. Wow, main Nexus sniped. It's gone. Blown up. Clean strike there for innovation. Finds himself in. Blows something up and gets the heck out of there. Didn't know he was American. Very well done there by innovation. Although, you know what, the getting the heck out of there probably would not have been a part of the plan if he was. Nice. Oh. Ever seen a main Nexus destroyed in a raid like that? Yeah, it's quite a rare sight, isn't it? I'm not sure where the army of Zest was or why it was taking that long to respond to it, but I mean, 3 medevacs with Marauders and Marines. With +1/+1, they do tear a Nexus down very, very quickly. You usually don't see it, though, because the investment of 3 medevacs around this time is quite heavy, right? If you lose them, that is GG pretty much instantly. If you get counterattacked and you don't have those units, you could lose a very big portion of your army and back at home in a very unfair fight. And well, then you may have those 3 medevacs in your opponent's base, but the entire army is still in your own base, and that should not be a great way to have the base rate going either, I believe. But unless if you have a big enough army to actually make something happen back at home as well. But anyway, nice place there from innovation. Finds the opportunity, makes use of it, and that's all that can be said about that situation, couldn't it? Found it, brought it in. Maybe not entirely sure that he could get a Nexus as he was going in. But, you know what? That's what he did. With 3 medevacs, do you go with the intention to kill a Nexus when you bring 3 medevacs filled with Marauders and Marines in there? I mean, it feels like a yes to me, but maybe that's only feeling like a yes to me because he did manage to get a Nexus. I think there's still an Observer right above the entire army of innovation here. I would like to see that get picked off at some point. 4th base for innovation on the right side, seeming like that is going to get pressured quite quickly. Innovation has to start maneuvering quite a bit of his forces that way, and does manage to do so quite successfully. Observers seeing all of this, by the way, right? There's 2 of them. 2 observers. You can kind of see them here, right? I'm going to show you, fellas. There you go, that's one, and that's the other. So great vision here for Zest. Look at this. Look at that. He knows everything. Quite a line of innovation right now. Quite a spread out army. But a good concave if he does manage to line it up very appropriately. Or the worst engagement ever if you do it from the other side. Of course, more of the off angles. So as this right side does get pushed backwards, but doesn't really engage with the left flank. Bit surprised of that decision. Finds a War Prism into the main base though, and that is going to find quite a bit of destruction. Couple of DTs and the Zealots here starting to tear down the starboards. Army of Innovation though still way too strong for Zest to just jump right on top of it there with half of his army. Maybe not even with the entirety of his force. He's sent, yeah, you know what? He's making a lot of the bio forces now run into the main base. This could be a good opportunity for him to try and make the fight happen on the low grounds. He is going to go for it. That is right. He is going to go for it. The setup here for Innovation is still quite something. It's still considerable, but there's a lot of Zealots right now getting the wrap around as the infantry not entirely certain where to go. Innovation trying to scramble up more troops, trying to get his forces back into a position to deal with this. But Zest with a wonderful engagement on half the army there, and now getting to fight the rest of the army here straight afterwards. And that is going to be enough to start getting him quite a nice victory here, I would say. Very well played game there by Zest. A nice little surround. A good distraction force into the main base. Trying to pay attention as to how much was being sent in and just fully turning it on to 11. Going for the jugular. GG. Right, Innovation really does seem like he has lost some of his earlier magic that we saw in the first couple of games. Either that or Zest just managed to up his game quite a bit. Not sure if Innovation is asking for a break here or if he's asking for something. Maybe he's just making a comment. All right, talk to you later, guys. Glad to have you here again. Happy to have your company in the chat room as always. Bitterwood did 3 Matcherinos today. Very well done. That is dedication. Look, sometimes I do that as well. I just go down the list of everything. The ITaX Discord actually has a very nice little tab with the Matcherino codes. And every time new Matcherino codes get added in, if you have the Matcherino tag, you'll be notified, and then you can just go down the list, do them all, and then you don't have to worry while watching StarCraft 2, you know, to be like, oh boy, do I stop doing, like, do I stop eating my cereal as I'm watching StarCraft 2 to do the code, or do I just try to do it later? I don't know, and then you forget about it, stuff like this, right? But you know what, if you're just gonna do it in those outside moments, when you already know you have that time, just go down the list of all the Matcherinos, done. Anyway, we'll do just this one, right? Just do this one. Oh, it's good enough as well. Here we go. Game number, let me count, 10. Well, game number 10. We have 3 points only being assembled here by this blue Terran, and they were all a long time ago in this series overall. He's from Kaisi Gaming. He is Innovation. Top left side, the red Protoss fighting for the Dragon Phoenix Gamers. He is Zest. That truly does seem to be the superior force at this moment in time. Innovation trying to say something about it, but not really managing to get something really going for himself. Rather early probe here. Coming in for a quick scout. I mean, to be fair, it could be that Innovation is trying to do a proxy. So far, yeah, it's been quite minimal on the proxies from Innovation. I was expecting a lot more. Maybe he had a stern talking to from Inu. Being like, look, if we ask you to play a best of 7 and you do 6 proxy Rexes, we only have like 20 minutes of airtime. Nobody likes that, alright? I don't know. Probably didn't happen. Command center goes down as Zest already has that Nexus on the way, of course. So, across the map. Going for the Cybercore first this time around, though. So should have that adapt a bit sooner. At least I think it did, right? Maybe I'm wrong, seeing the timings here. Reaper. And Adept Dance. Doesn't get much. And now it's the turn for the Adept, of course, coming across the map himself. Looking to find some lone SCVs or Marines. There is that bunker there. And just a set time for the Adept. Set time Adept. Has to move back. Blink for Zest will be the tech choice. And innovation so far. Okay, just a single Hellion for the scouting and then some Widow Mines again. Third base for innovation. Going to be built relatively early on in comparison to all the other games. I guess it is quite early on, right? Only the single barracks there. Alright. Well, Zest might not be anticipating the quick third CC here from innovation, as you know what, all the previous 9 games, I don't think we've seen him try to get that third base before the other added in barracks and factories and what have you not. So could be a good opportunity here for innovation to claim a quite nice chunk of eco before Zest really figures out that he doesn't have to be as safe as he was before. Although, maybe he's just going to get aggressive with these Blink Stalkers and figure it out immediately, right? He only has the 2 gates, so can't really punish this or put a lot of pressure onto innovation. At least he shouldn't be able to. Maybe he still will because of a poor placement of a siege tank or something. We don't quite know. But, yeah, here we go. Only 7 Stalkers. That shouldn't be too much of a hassle with the 2 siege tanks available soon. Up they go. The siege tank is in a pretty good position. The Stalker's too far away to just run on top of it, so it's gonna run the other side. Gets rid of the Widow Mine and the Marine there. It's gonna have Blink soon. Will blink out. Alright. Thought he may try to blink on top of the siege tank here, but not the case. We'll rotate towards the other side. Another siege tank there does provide a very nice cover for that bunker. Very well aligned there with the range. Okay, let's keep it in the corner for now. There's only Stalkers in there, so no Storm drop here. But still always scary. Talking about Storm, my Templar Archives is being built right now. Same for the charge. Oh, Le Flash Axe. This is actually a all 11 matches played series. So the players get money for each victory they get. So it's not a best of 11. It is... I'm not sure if that's your question, referencing to does Zest win, or maybe you're just asking does Zest win this game in particular. I think he's in a good position overall, but I'm not entirely sure if he's won. I don't think so. I still think that Innovation's got a pretty good shot here, although a lot of those Marines are kind of pinned back by 4 stocks and a War Prison. So maybe Innovation not going to be able to push out here up until the moment when he has maybe a Viking to really start poking the War Prison there. And free up all those Marines. Little scan taking place, and it's the sneak peek of what's to come. Siege tank's kind of leaving the main ramps. No, it's still there. Okay, it's still covering it quite nicely. This is where it looks like Zest is coming from, after all. That's a lot of Zealots and a lot of the Stalkers, nothing else. Wait, he does have Storm, right? Yeah, okay, so he does have the Storm in the War Prism here, breaking through the supply depots, no problem. And in come the High Templar, the Storm flying over quite brazenly. Has to watch out for those Widow Mines, but there's no Widow Mines here this time around. The Storm not going to be enough against the Siege tanks. The final one there does make quite a good little moment for the Protoss army to retreat, but that's quite the beating that Zest took right there. It feels like he did not get a good trade going. Grabbing 6 SCVs overall, I mean, that is not what he was coming there to do. He was coming to give quite a good beating to Innovation right there. And actually kind of just ran his own fist into his face. Or his own face into his fist. Well, he ran his face... No, he ran his fist into the face, but then it turned out that Innovation's face was just made out of metal. Or something like that. You know, he is the machine after all, and then he's like, ha ha ha, do you not know I am the machine? Oh, this War Prism's dead. Yeah, no, it's not gonna get out. Bye-bye, War Prism. Maybe could have tried to hide it in the corner there for a little bit until he had a recall or something, but another opportunity to fly it out. Innovation now maybe going on a warpath himself. 86 army supply versus 37. Looks quite promising after all. Dark Shrine. For Zest may be able to buy himself another shot here if Innovation doesn't have scans available at the right time. Alright, Stalkers do arrive here quite quickly. Shut down the main points where the reinforcements was trying to assemble, so it gets a good clump of units here. Makes it quite difficult for Innovation now to muster up a proper defense at the main base from the reinforcements. Especially with the High Templar Storm there as well. Right, Innovation in a good spot to keep the probes away from the front line. Actually, there's still an entire base there, isn't there? Yeah, the 4th base, of course, still exists as well. A lot of probes might be able to run across the map here. For Zest still try to get some nexuses going there as well. Army for Innovation is a lot better in these types of situations here, it seems. But he will need to start flying off those buildings here in a moment. Trying to get whatever production he still can and just shoot down whatever he still can on that side of the map as well. Doing a pretty good job at it so far. The Bank of Zest only going to grow larger here, of course, as his production is being trampled all over. DT Shrine goes down, a very important structure to have been broken. How many do we still have? We have 0, so that's a really good call from Innovation to take that down. Zest had an opportunity then, perhaps, of course, to make sure that all the orbitals are floating around and then come in with the DTs. No Ghost and no scan available. Could have meant the end there as well. But yeah, Innovation safe from that fate. Looks like he is on the top end of the overall base race here. Still a couple of buildings for Zest alive, of course, but still has a reasonable amount of probes alive as well. Trying to settle somewhere with a new Nexus. And Innovation looking to go across the map here. Looking to get a final fight going. Zest realizing that this is going to be the thing that happens. And sets up on the high ground here as best as possible. The siege tank should be able to start pushing him further and further back though. Up until the moment where the bio can comfortably come up that ramp. And that moment came a lot sooner than I thought it would come. Looks like what was that? A barracks? Something blew up. Factory, something like that. Siege tanks can start looking to, perhaps with the aid of the medevacs, claim little bits of the high ground here on the left flank. But no, we're going to have to fight actually with the Protoss starting to come down the ramp here. All those probes instantly dead, of course, against those siege tanks. Not a chance, but was it enough of a little bit of a blanket for the rest of the Protoss army to gain victory? It does not look to be the case. Just barely. We have ourselves Innovation there coming out on top. But it is with a very slim margin. GG is called. Innovation takes the game and will get himself a 4th point here. Reclaiming some of his honor. Alright, Innovation. That was a very close one, a very tight one. If he gets the next game as well, though, to be fair, that would be a 6-5 score. And if only we would just, you know, rotate around the map order a little bit, right, in the replay pack, maybe we can sell, you know, maybe we can pretend like it is an actual best of 11 that went to the ace match. But we need Innovation to win this one, though. Funnily enough, Zest, of course, already the overall winner, but there's still a little bit of money on the line here for this final game. And that is what we're looking to see who is who's going to grab that one. Banzai. All right. Zest and Innovation. One more game left, guys. It's not the ace match, but it is the final match. So, you know what? Maybe you could call it the somewhat of an ace match. A slight ace match. Ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. Is that a game I hear starting? I think I do hear a game starting. Well, yeah, it does look like it as well. Quite something. Switch around the scores. There we are. Let's set that up well and proper. We have right here the man trying to settle the score here in a very well respectable manner. The Blue Terran. Would love to get one more victory here and at least have it be 6-5, right? The minimum amount of defeat that you could suffer in one of these series. Kaisi Gaming's Innovation. Top right side, we have the red Protoss player fighting for the Dragon, Phoenix, and all the gamers alike. He is Zest. Zest looking to, of course, end this entire series here with a bang. Grab himself that 7th victory as well and really get this prize money. Of course, that prize money influenced by the amount of codes we use up on the match arena, guys. If you haven't already done so, would be appreciated. Help us out, help these players out. And with enough of that, seems like once more we're having quite a regular game here. Quite the normal game, at least. Not bad. That's the one. Oh, proxy pylon. Not so proxy command center. Surprise, surprise! Once again, a gateway here being added in on the sideline of Innovation's map space. Let's see if this time around he will try to scout those places. No, doesn't. Well, he's trying to, but... No, actually, I don't think he is trying to. He's just running across the map again, isn't he? He was trying to get the Reaper just across. Alright, doesn't lose the SCV this time. Still gets the probe. Again, no clue about that gateway here, of course, as we're having 2 extra gateways being added, actually. We're going up quite quickly with the gateway count. How well will this do? Already have that bunker up there, of course. Widowmine is coming in. Reaper across the map could cause some of those Protossors to not be with the initial attack here. Something's gonna have to stay home. Looks like there's already a Stalker here, though, so... Doesn't seem to trouble Zest in the slightest. Oh, my bad. There we are. There's the adapts right now. 5 of them in total. Immediately going for the SCVs. Oh, good split there with the adepts. Doesn't manage to minimize the damage in its entirely, but at least does minimize it quite a bit there. Keeps the other adapt alive also. Looking for another... This is odd. Alright, let's go for it. In fact, I'm not sure if I like this. It's going to tug down SCVs here, I would assume so. Only has 2 of them at this moment. Ooh, might get into the main base here. Right on top of that supply depot. Off he goes. No, he doesn't. Okay. Would have been a brave one. I would have respected it, but doesn't quite go for it. Supply depot should be raised this time around. So, siege tank, you may be in trouble. Nope. Whew, man, Zest. Really knows how to get on your nerves, doesn't he? Truly a player that will continuously throughout the game at least have something going across the map. Especially in this series, it seems. Maybe playing this way because he knows Innovation is a very aggressive player as well, so he needs to keep tabs on him, right? Needs to keep him in check and needs to keep those marine numbers low. So that these pushes from Innovation continuously are just gonna not be as strong as they could be otherwise. The poor Reaper man. That poor Reaper man. Won't be reaping no more. How was that? 5 gateways. Oh my. Going up to 8 here with the Robo as well. Quite a couple. Dark Shrine, Blink, and +1 attack. Well, Innovation, I don't think we have a 3rd base. Yeah, no, we do. We do, actually. Sorry, my bad. It's going to be flying that across the air probably in a moment. About the time when the stim pack finishes up, I would assume, is when he's going to feel comfortable trying to relieve the second and main base of his army. Start heading out into the wild western countryside of Oxide. Still a formidable force being warped in here by Zest. He is assembling an army worthy of Mordor. Well, the innovation still set up with those siege tanks there. A respectable amount of the Marines are around as well. Zest already grabbing himself a 4th base here before the 3rd base of innovation, even on the ground at the mining location. Still has to fly quite a bit, and then there will still be a bit of a bout about just who has control over this space. Innovation should be able to claim it, but may take him a little bit here, repositioning his siege tanks and such. Yeah, that's just more denying of mining here, right, from Zest. That's all he wanted to do. It looks like he's just backing up already. Thought he could try to stay there for a little bit longer with the sentries and the force fields, perhaps, but you know what? I respect this move away as well. I mean, if the fight were to happen and he was not able to keep the force fields in a good enough position to stop enough of those Marines of getting on top of his gateway forces, that would have been quite the disaster. So Zest just kind of playing it safe right now. He still has other plans in his pocket, right? Such as the War Prism with the Dark Templar. Dark Templar coming out here. The War Prism is out as well, though. Now the 4 DT stranded in the main base of Innovation. Innovation already having a scan available. A lot of the Marines as well. Does he have another scan? Almost. Almost does have that other scan. Missile turret in the main base now. Innovation not losing much of anything to this. If anything to this. And Zest, once again, his plans being foiled. One more singular DT remains in the main base. Oh, wait, it's actually 2. Hold up. They do have the DT blink now as well. Oh, this one not making use of it, though. Still within range of that missile turret there, it seems. It's a really sick play by Zest to shift flick those DTs around. It was, yeah. It's always quite impressive stuff, of course, kind of just setting up all those commands, shift clicking all the workers and stuff like that. We may have ourselves quite a big fight here in the middle of the map. Even the SCVs bringing along some of the Marines here. As the army of Zest once again is just like, alright, well, base straight it is. Here we go. This is just, it seems like Zest's style right now, where he goes for the base race as the Protoss every single time. As he's expanding quite rapidly, mainly just on a gateway force. Now, sometimes it worked out for him, sometimes it did not. Army supply of Innovation this time around actually terrifyingly high. Still quite a bit of it, though, in the main base here that will get cleaned up. It's going to get cleaned up extremely slowly, though, with all those zealots being clogged up by the barracks and the supply depots. There's the blink forward. Still a reasonably good trade there for Innovation. Innovation realizing that he doesn't have that many buildings. Will start sending some boys across. Intercepts a lot of these probes that are trying to get to the main army of the Protoss here. And that's a big deal, because that is usually the way how Zest ensures that he will be able to get himself something going. Missile turrets will have to be constructed, as the DTs still are just kind of going on top of this army here. Quite a nice play. Maybe it could have gotten a bit more, but unsure, of course, of where that orbital is and how far away it is from just landing and starting to mine, or starting to scan. Innovation leaving the rest of the infrastructure of Zest alone here. Looks like he wants to bring everything together for the big final fight here that could potentially happen. Or at least doesn't want to be caught out with his armies on 2 sides. He actually could set up a really good flank here. If the rest of the army comes in from the other side, it's a rough one. Zest not really allowing that movement to happen. It's just running upwards here, away from the other force. Innovation still trying to get these 2 groups together. This ball of Marines is taking a lot of damage overall. A couple of sentries also getting called out. Rest of this bio may even be enough to just run on top of the Protoss, but Innovation not going for it. Zest already knows, though, that it will not be enough, and he taps out. GG is called. Innovation. His army would reign supreme there in the end, and Zest did not like his odds. He does manage to get himself that 5th point on the boards here and make it as close as it could have potentially have been if this were a best of 11. Very well done.